While many businesses wait with bated breath to see if today's shutdown will actually take place, South Africans are waiting for a real justice crackdown into the July unrest. President Cyril Ramaphosa initially promised the nation that the masterminds would pay. Jakkie Cilliers said he had a list of high-profile insurrection ringleaders that would be brought to book. So what became of that list? And will the possible threat of a repeated insurrection keep holding the country to ransom? Well, to discuss this, we're joined by Jakkie Cilliers of the Institute for Security Studies. Jakkie, thanks so much for joining us. I mean, Police Minister Jakkie Cilliers previously announced that he had a list of 12 known instigators. We've seen a few arrests, a DJ, a couple of other people who were passing things on WhatsApp, but no sign of this list of the major kingpins.
Yes, I think it's one thing to speak about people that allegedly instigate and to point to Instagram and WhatsApp and Twitter. It's another thing to have sufficient evidence that you can take somebody to court. And I think we've long suspected that in actual fact, bringing people to book would take quite a while. So I'm not that surprised. But I think what the events of this morning illustrate is exactly what can happen if the security establishment have intelligence and react and monitor the situation. But it also demonstrates, I think, the challenges that we face, in a sense, in a country as volatile as South Africa, at responding to social media and the hype that it creates. And that's, I think, difficult to manage in a democracy.
If you have to compare the insurrection in the US and QAnon and how social media played a role there, is this a little bit of a repeat that happened in SA?
I do think so. I think we have to find a way of learning to live with social media in a responsible way. It has become a source of disinformation, whether it's around vaccines, whether it's about insurrection. And mobilization that really is a cause of concern, I think, in a responsible society. People are not dealing with responsible media. They are dealing with what other people are saying. And when I wake up this morning and I feel I want to tweet about, and we need to find an issue here that we can manage social media in particular in a responsible manner in South Africa, amongst others. We're not the only country that faces this problem.
Jakkie, last question. President Cyril Ramaphosa said at the state capture inquiry about 2 weeks ago that, it's possible that some of former President Jacob Zuma's Secret Service private army, if you like, some of those agents could have been behind the violence that we saw last month. Do you think that there are politically sensitive names out there that are perhaps being protected?
Well, I think the ANC is particularly sensitive around people that form part of the Zuma inner circle. But the reality is that this is the ANC fighting with itself. So it's a factional battle that has become a national challenge. And until such time as the ANC does not sort its own challenges out, the rest of South Africa is paying the price. So I'm afraid that we are trying to manage the fallout, but the leadership within the governing party really need to get their act together and sort themselves out. The national shutdown is being so-called managed, and calls are being made on behalf of the ANC, the Communist Party, and a variety of other organizations, clearly wrongly so. But there needs to be action taken within the governing party specifically.
So what we're seeing in the governing party is really reflecting now out on the streets. Jakkie, enjoy the Swedish summer.
I will. Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us. Jakkie Cilliers of the Institute for Security Studies speaking to us there from Sweden.